Hi, welcome to week 1 of Fantastic Fridays. I'm Miss Brandy and I'm going to do some really cool art with you. I've made these boxes for you that has everything you need to do this along with me, okay? And I'm so glad to meet you. I've been doing these art videos and art kits with the preschoolers this whole last school year, so I'm very excited to meet you first and second graders, all right? We can do some really cool things, okay? Are you ready to open up your box and see what's inside? All right, let's do that. All right, we're gonna open it up, and inside you should have this big long box of what's called oil pastels. Oil pastels are like a crayon, but they're also like chalk. It's a blend between the two, and you're gonna have a lot of fun using these. And you're gonna have plenty of oil pastel left over after this project to keep practicing using these, okay? All right, and then you'll have some paper towels. This is gonna be for wiping your fingers because we're gonna use our fingers to blend these oil pastels onto our canvas. All right, if you've never worked with a canvas before, I'm so glad that this will be your first one. This is what a lot of professional artists use, so this is a lot cooler than just paper. You know, paper's cool and all, but canvas, man, you could hang it on the wall. It's really nice. All right, so are you ready to get started on your very first project for Fantastic Fridays? Great, I am too. Let's get started. All right, so not only are we going to do some really cool art, but we're going to learn about some really awesome artists as well. This week, we're going to be doing a piece of art inspired by Vincent van Gogh's Wheat Field with Crows. Okay, that's what the painting was called, Wheat Field with Crows. And this is what it looks like. All right, and this is what Vincent van Gogh looks like. Okay, you may have seen some of his other paintings before, like Starry Night, okay, or Sunflowers. All right, so you can see that he just did some phenomenal work, okay? So we're gonna do Wheat Field with Crows. So we're gonna start off by taking the plastic off of our canvas. If you need help with this, that's okay. There should be a little hole back here in the back for you to stick your finger in. And then just take that off. And then just be sure to throw all of this plastic and this corner piece in the trash, okay? Now, we're gonna start off with our canvas sideways like this. So not long ways, but sideways. All right. Okay. And then we're going to open up our oil pastels. So what you're going to do is just stick your finger in the end and push it, and it'll come sliding out. Just take the whole thing out, and you can see we have lots of colors. This is going to be so much fun, and you're going to have plenty of these left over after this project to keep doing it on other things. You can do it on paper, cardboard, all kinds of stuff, okay? All right, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to grab this very light gray, okay? Find your light gray one. And about halfway through the canvas, about half of it, we're going to draw a line straight across. Okay? Can you see my line? Just go straight across, just a thin line. Just use the very edge of your oil pastel. Don't put it flat and drag it, because that's going to make a big line. All right? You want it to look kind of like a pencil line. Come on, camera. What are you doing? Okay. All right. So right here on my line, I'm going to, again, using the very edge of my oil pastel, come down and make this winding line. You see that? All right. Then come a little ways over, just a little bit, very close to it, and come down following that same shape. You're going to create that road. So follow the line, but come out a little bit wider as you get to the bottom of the canvas. Okay, so it should look like that. Okay, now what this technique is called perspective. Perspective means you know how far away something is. So when things are smaller in the back and wider in the front, we know that this is going away from us, right? Does that make sense? I hope so. All right, and then up here, just to the side, I'm gonna make a circle. All right, and that's gonna be our moon. All right, so now that we have all of our lines drawn on our canvas, and it looks like a road that's going away from us, we have our moon. I'm gonna take this kind of medium yellow, the one that's between the bright yellow and the lighter orange. And I'm gonna start coloring in all of this space on each side of my road, okay? And I want you to do the same. And this one, you don't have to use the side of your oil pastel. You just, however you get it on there, and really lay it on thick, okay? All the way to the edge of that road. You'll feel the wooden board underneath there, so do what you gotta do to get that all in there. Really rub it in. We want this whole thing covered. No white showing. Vincent van Gogh is a lot of people's favorite artist, and it's for good reason. He made beautiful paintings and drawings. People recreate his work all the time. You can work in circles. Go back and forth, up and down. Okay. Now you can see that it's mostly covered, but there's still some white streaky stuff in there. So this is where your fingers are gonna come in handy. You can see I was doing art projects earlier. And so what you're gonna do is take your finger and start rubbing it. Rub all over, back and forth. And you'll start to see that that color moves around into that canvas and starts to cover all that white. And then you can put some more down, really mash it in there. Mash it down hard. Okay. Keep rubbing and applying that color all over. Take your time doing it. You don't have to rush. I'm a fast worker, but it's okay if you're not. Okay, so now we see that not quite as much white is showing. So I'm going to move over here to the other side, okay? Is this your first time having some art classes? If it is, I'm so glad that you're here with me. And if it's not your first art class, maybe you know some of this stuff already, maybe not. I wonder who you've seen for art. Is it a teacher at school? Teacher somewhere else, maybe at daycare or church? Or maybe mommy, daddy, or grandma or grandpa have taught you some stuff. Making art is one of my favorite things because it gives me something relaxing to do. And then when I'm all done, I have a really pretty picture to hang on my walls or to give to a friend. Pretty pictures make people so happy. All right, if you get down to where you're hitting paper, just like a crayon, you can peel some of that paper back. Let's see if I can find it. There it is. Just peel some of it back. I'm just going to take the whole thing off. How about that? Just keep working. Whoops. If it breaks, that's okay. These oil pastels are really soft and easy to break, so that is okay. All right, so I got a good bit covered over here, so I'm going to take my finger again and start rubbing it around. Really trying to fill in all those little spots of white that are hard to get with the pencil itself. Working a circular motion, and it really helps to get it in there. And you know what? This side is looking a little bit better than that one, so I'm going to come back over here and do this some more. Kind of get the hang of it after a while. Start to learn how hard you can press down onto the canvas. And I'm going to rub it in, just like I did before. All right, so now that we have our yellow on there, I'm going to take my brown, my darker brown. So this one's kind of got some red to it, but I'm going to take this darker brown, and then I'm going to color my road with it. Okay. So perspective is something that's really important in a lot of art. Okay. It gives us a sense of something being what's called 3D, which is like the world that we live in, rather than 2D, which is something that's just flat. Okay. It gives us the appearance of something being in a space. So it helps things to look more realistic. Really get that color in there. And what is this called again? Perspective. All the way. I'm gonna go ahead and let the brown really touch the yellow, because it really blends together very nicely. It makes it look less like it was just a road drawn on there and that it's actually part of the picture. Okay. And again, I'm going to take my finger and rub in a circular motion back and forth. Help to fill in all that white in there. Okay, we got that. Next, I'm going to take my blue and put it up here in the sky, but I'm not gonna cover my moon. I'm gonna leave that white, okay? So let's be very careful when we come around here coloring. So what color am I gonna choose? I'm gonna choose this blue right here, the one that's between the very, very bright blue and the really dark blue. It looks like that. And so to keep myself kind of careful, I'm going to go ahead and go around my circle with blue. All right, that way I see it really good and I know where it's at and I won't accidentally go over it. And then I'm going to come down here and I'm just going to follow my line across the yellow and the brown. So I have my border there. All right. Now I'm going to start filling in this sky while you do yours. I'm going to do something that I call super speed mode, where I use my super speed power to go really fast, okay? And when I'm done filling mine in, I'll see you back here, okay? All right, here I go. Oh, my goodness. Oh, I am going to use my finger now to blend this all together. Man, that was some work, wasn't it? I accidentally got some stuff down here on my yellow. That's okay. I'm just going to use my finger like we did before and smear it around. And if I need some more, I'll put some more down. How's yours looking so far? Good. All right, we're getting there. Now up here, we don't have to work as hard to color in all the white because we're gonna come back in here in a second and put some darker blue on top of this. And I think that'll cover up all the rest of the white, okay? So we don't have to work too hard on that, but we do want to get it mostly covered. You can even turn your pastel on the side rather than the end and color it that way. Whatever works, just be really careful not to get blue inside that circle right there, okay? And as your fingers kind of warm up this oil pastel, it gets a little bit easier to spread too. And really press down. Okay, go in with my finger again and keep on rubbing. Move that up here to move around. Oh, this is some hard work. My finger's hurting. That's okay. We're gonna have a beautiful picture in the end. That's what matters. All right. So we got it mostly covered. That's good. I'm going to wipe my fingers really, really good because this green and this blue is, this yellow and this blue are going to mix together to make what? Green. Yep, that's why I said green a second ago. And we don't want that happening. So as you can see, I have some down here. I made a little boo-boo and got stuff on my yellow. So I'm gonna take my paper towel, a clean spot, and just kind of rub it and get that off of there. So what's great about working with oil pastels rather than paint is you can almost sort of erase mistakes. Not always, but a good bit of time. Come up here and clean this up because where the blue and the yellow are meeting, that's kind of running together to make green. That's right. All right, so we got that going on. All right. Next, I'm going to come down to my yellow part again, and we're going to add some orange squiggles to make it look like the hay in the field, okay? So I'm going to take this lighter orange, not that one, this one, this lighter orange color. So between the one that we used and the dark orange, I'm kind of turn my canvas a little bit, and I'm going to come in and I'm just going to make these squiggly lines and press down real hard. Squiggle, squiggle, squiggle. Squiggle, squiggle, squiggle. Squiggle, squiggle, squiggle. Come over here and do the same thing. All right. Can you see that? And then I'm going to take the darker orange and I'm going to do the same thing, okay? And even come down all the way to the edge of your canvas, okay? That makes it look really good. Right. And again, try to get all the oil pastels off of your finger. I know I have paint on my finger. That's not going to come off, but I'm really trying really hard to get the oil pastel off of my finger, okay? And then take your finger and just kind of smush that in there in one direction. Smush, smush, smush. Oh no, I did have some blue on my finger. That's okay. We take our paper towel and just kind of clean that up a little bit. And you can even take, actually, let's do that. Since my hands are dirty, I'm going to use the paper towel to smudge mine, okay? Smudge, smudge, smudge. And I'm just going to work going in an upward motion. And go up, up, up. And as you get up here close to your blue, you might accidentally hit it and then touch your yellow and create that green color again, and that's okay. So you see the difference of the blending and the not blending, right? So this looks more like you looking into a hayfield from far off, and then this just looks like squiggly lines. Okay, so now I'm going to blend this side as well. Ah, see, I did it again. So I'm just going to go in there and wipe the clean part. Okay, come on, Miss Brandy. Anyway, I'll start off here at the bottom. Be really careful not to touch the blue. Okay, now we have our field of wheat. All right, next we're going to work on our road a little bit more. And this time I'm going to grab that reddish brown that's next to the brown that we used for our road, okay? And just the very edge of it again, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to follow this line right here. I'm just going to go back and forth a couple of times. Can you see that? A little bit. You'll see it better on your canvas. Come up here, add some to the top, and just add some random lines, but make sure that they follow that curve shape, okay? You can make it bigger in some spots, smaller in some others. Can you see that? And again, I'm going to take my towel, a clean part of my towel, and use it to just blend that on in. So we do all these different colors on here because we know that nothing really is just one solid color, right? There's very few things in this world that are just one flat color. They usually have different shades of a color, right? So there we go. There's my road. Okay, I'm gonna call that good. Now back to the sky. We used that medium color blue, and this time I'm gonna go for this really, really, really dark blue. So go over 1, 2, okay? And I'm just going to go on the very bottom up against my yellow line here and follow that line. All right, so it's very dark, and then I'm going to start kind of coming up a little bit. Start from the bottom and go up a little bit. All right, you see how that's getting a little bit darker? Then I'm going to come in and make some kind of random lines streaking through the sky. Again, making sure that I don't go into this white circle. Okay? Very important. Do not go into the white circle. You can draw around the circle with this, just not in it. I'm going to add some more blocky shapes. Maybe even come down and makes these swirling circle patterns maybe. Have fun with this part, because that was one thing that Vincent van Gogh did with his skies, was it was never just a flat color or straight lines. They always had these kind of swirling patterns to them, right? Kind of like the wind swirling around. You can even do this, go in circles. Yeah, just have fun with it. And then we can go in again with that blue that we haven't used yet, not the light blue, but the one in between the ones we just used, and add even more different color blues to it. So you see, adding all these other blues helps to fill in all of that white. And we definitely want to fill in the white. We want this to be a solid slab of blue. So just keep on working on filling in all of those white spots. If you get little chunks of oil pastel, that's okay. Just wipe them off with your paper towel. All right, so I've got mine pretty much all filled in. All right, how about you? Getting there? All right, so next, the reason why we really did not want that moon to be colored in is because we're not going to color it in at all. It's going to stay white just like that. Okay, and do we know what happens when white and another color mixes? Well, it's not white anymore, right? So we want to keep it as white as we can. All right, so what you're going to do with this white oil pastel is not to color in the inside of the moon, but to color around the outside, okay? And that's okay. It's not going to stay perfectly white. So what you're going to do is you're going to start tracing your circle around your moon, just like that. And then start coming out. Come out big. Just don't go down into this yellow. And you see how this creates the illusion that the moon is glowing? Yeah, moon glow. I'm gonna wipe that off some more. Kind of clean that blue off of there. And keep doing that. You don't want to do it too much. You still want to see some streaks of the darker blue in there. I think mine's good, just like that. I'm going to clean off my white one so the end is white again, okay? So the next time that I use it, it doesn't have color all over it. Okay. Hopefully you're still rocking along with me here. Now next, and the last bit of your Vincent van Gogh wheat field with crows is the crows, okay? So have you ever drawn a bird before using the little M? That's exactly what we're gonna do here, okay? So what you're gonna do is come in here and draw an M. Well, and it might take a couple of times of rubbing it on there to get it on there. Can you see that a little bit? Now you're gonna make big ones and smaller ones, okay? Because again, perspective, it's gonna look like the smaller ones are farther away and the big ones are closer to us. So it's a whole flock of crows flying around us, okay? So I'm gonna make a little one right here and then another big one right here. And it's gonna kind of come over into the yellow a little bit, okay? And you might have to go back and forth a couple of times to really get that black to lay down on top of all these blues and yellows that we've done. But we'll get there. All right, now I'll draw another little bitty one over here on the yellow. Can you see what we're doing there? All right, I'll do a little one up here. One over here. And you want to do this using just the very edge of it, okay? Again, not flat. We want a small line, so we're going to use the edge of it. I should have mentioned that earlier. I'm sorry. Another little one over here. Maybe a little one down here. Then a big one over here. And maybe a little one across the moon. Maybe one across the road too. And one up here. You can do as many as you want. That's what's so fun about it. You make as many birds as you want. It should be a whole flock of them. And then go over some of the ones maybe you already did and make them even darker and blacker. You want them really black. They are black crows after all. And it might take a couple of tries of getting through all those layers of blue and yellow to really get the blue on there. I mean the black on there. Okay. All right, we are all done with our wheat field with crows, and I hope you had a lot of fun doing this, and I will see you here next week for another famous artist piece of work. All right, thanks. Bye.